Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds.
Hey everybody, this is Evan and John, and you're listening to the Boomer and X Show.
Welcome everybody, and thank you for joining us on the Boomer and Egg Show for yet another sports short segment.
Yeah, today is September 21st, 2016. So we'll be talking about today NCAA upsets, NFL injuries, must-wins for the 0-2 NFL teams, some upcoming NCAA games, and upcoming NFL. And then we'll have a couple topics for our Mad Dash.
You know what, today, we're going into the 22nd, and this will be released on September 22nd. You know what the 22nd of September is?
First day of spring.
It's, well, in the Southern Hemisphere, smart ass, it actually is. So yeah, it's first day of autumn, and that means it's going to magically get much cooler here along the Gulf Coast, isn't it?
Is that a joke?
Yes. Yes, it's a sad, sad joke.
It'll magically get cooler around January.
Yeah. There's
day.
summer, and then there's the few weeks between summers.
There you go.
So, anywho, let's talk a little bit of college football. Last weekend, there were some of these are upsets. Some of them were just very significant games.
Some are upset, some are upsetting.
Yeah.
Like, let's just get into it. OSU at Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that wasn't necessarily an upset with OSU winning, but to beat them by, what was it, three
let's make, it's Ohio State, because Oklahoma State also goes by OSU, and they will play.
Oh, that's true.
They will play
that's
Oklahoma
true.
later in the year.
So Ohio State. Yes.
Ohio State.
Did I do their acronyms wrong?
No.
They use OSU also?
Yeah, they both use OSU. But not Cincinnati. Ohio State goes in there and wins by 3 touchdowns. And so now Oklahoma, after starting the year ranked number 3, is out of the top 25 altogether.
I can't stand those early rankings.
It's really something. And here's one thing I like about the BCS. And they don't even...
Liked. Past tense.
Is it not the BCS anymore? I mean...
I don't know.
Even though we use everything except... Anyway.
I would say no.
The way I like... The polls that matter... They don't even come out until October.
Yeah.
And I like doing that. I've never liked the preseason polls because it's not based on anything other than reputation.
Yep.
And last year.
Yeah, last year where you lose 7 seniors to the NFL or more to the NFL, and how can you relate to that number anymore?
Yeah, and Oklahoma's one of those teams. Now, last year they did make the Final Four. But they're one of those teams that usually starts out high. You could make good money just placing a bet that Oklahoma would end the season ranked lower than they started the season. You could usually do the same thing with Notre Dame as well. But yeah, anyway, Oklahoma loses by 3 touchdowns at home to Ohio State in a game that was lightning delayed by like a couple of hours.
So you said Oklahoma's not even ranked anymore?
No, they are currently not ranked anymore.
So that wasn't really an upset, but it was worth talking about.
It was worth talking about.
UL, that'd be Louisville, not University of Lafayette.
Right.
Like a lot of people around here think. At home versus Florida State.
That was the one. I mean,
Florida State gave up.
Everybody that wasn't watching the game had to do a double take when they saw the score.
It. I'll say this: we both said Florida State would win. We both picked them.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
didn't see that coming.
Nope, didn't see that coming. But it was just a complete collapse. And as much as I don't really care for the Louisville coach, he is an offensive mind, certainly.
Is that Sweeney?
That's Petrino.
Who
Petrino's the coach at Louisville.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Louisville.
He was at. I'm pretty sure he was at Louisville before. He was at Arkansas. He coached the Atlanta Falcons for a very brief period. But anyway, Louisville looks like they're going, and the quarterback, and his name is escaping me right now, but his quarterback is putting up numbers like crazy, and just like Leonard Fournette last year, he has won the Heisman Trophy of September
already. Yeah.
Well, of September.
Yeah.
There's one in September, there's one in October, and then there's the one that matters. So he has won the Heisman of September.
Iowa getting spanked by North Dakota State.
North Dakota State is a 1AA team. I believe they have won the past couple or more of 1AA championships. And they have won like the last 5 games they played against 1A schools.
So maybe they need to go up in a division.
I think they do. I think they need to go up.
I mean, if they're beating Iowa, and then last 5 years at
Iowa.
Come on, step up your game a little.
So, but that's big, and there's, playing.
I didn't watch that game.
I didn't either. And actually, a lot of the early games I missed because I was out doing something, working on a project.
One of those early ones was Clemson at.
No, Clemson was at home against one of these nobodies.
Yeah,
and
so it was a complete blowout.
Yeah.
But one thing I thought was hilarious was Clemson does a kickoff and. The guy catches the ball in the end zone and just tosses it over to the ref. Doesn't
kneel
wave,
down. Right.
Well, do you fair catch in the end zone? You have to kneel.
No, you kneel.
Yeah.
You kneel down.
Didn't kneel down, tosses it to the ref. And then, like, as soon as he sees the ref just, like, dodges the ball. And then he's like, oh, no. And he just runs over, tries to get the ball. And, of course, Clemson gets it in the end zone for a touchdown.
That was a 59-0 game.
Exactly,
it didn't
but
matter.
I thought it was just hilarious.
Yeah, I guess you need to know the rule book a little bit better. And one that I know I missed, I don't know if you made a prediction on this one, but I said I thought Notre Dame would beat Michigan State. And they didn't. And I said that because Notre Dame had been tested. And Michigan State had not been tested, but now Notre Dame is 1-2,
Mm-hmm.
and any national aspirations or national championship aspirations they may have had are certainly gone now because they are 1-2.
And then lastly, we got Stanford versus USC.
Yeah, and that was a 17-point win for Stanford. Again, not an upset.
Yeah. I might have even would have picked Stanford for that game.
Yeah.
Definitely in hindsight, I would have picked them. Let's move on to NFL injuries.
The injury bug.
The biggest one.
Oh my gosh.
Is Adrian Peterson. I would say biggest one. I mean, we got Woodhead up
I'm going to
there.
say because Woodhead's season is gone.
Out.
And
That's true.
These are just
Most severe.
These are just week 2 injuries.
That's true. Most severe, yeah. Woodhead, he's gone.
Woodhead is gone.
What did he tear? His ACL? Torn ACL?
You know what? Without knowing, I just know he's gone. But I'm going to guess ACL because that is the injury du jour. Yeah. Arian Foster's out. I know that's not news to anybody except the people that continue to draft him high in fantasy. I don't get it.
It's like when people do draft him, it's like, caution. He always gets hurt.
Yeah.
They should just start putting that up because, it's a wide draft.
And somebody else that's on injured reserve is the Amir Abdullah guy at Detroit.
Really?
Yeah.
Amir Abdullah. Oh, yeah, Amir Abdullah. Yeah.
Remember last year everybody was drafting him really, really high, and he was kind of, sort of. And so he's done. He's on IR. So he's
I remember
for the year.
Abdullah.
So
another one, running back, Jonathan Stewart.
Carolina's Jonathan Stewart. Here's the deal. Here's the deal with Carolina. As goes Cam Newton, goes Carolina.
Okay.
So
they're fine.
No slight to Jonathan Stewart.
They're fine as long as he's there.
Yes. Yeah.
And as long as they're not playing Denver.
You know what? You play that game 10 times, and
Denver wins once.
It's probably 5-5 split. But seriously, Carolina's fine without Jonathan Stewart. They're fine.
So Adrian Peterson, which I said earlier, he tore his meniscus.
Yeah. A few weeks with him.
Yeah, that's crazy. A meniscus.
Now Sam Bradford has come in and looked good, but the thing about Sam Bradford is, and quarterback, just taking Bridgewater's place.
Yeah.
Sam Bradford has looked good, and here's the deal with Bradford. He looks good when he plays. It's just that he gets hurt so much. You wonder how long is he going to be around.
Garoppolo, we were just praising him last week for being was it right shoulder sprain or something like that. I don't think it's but I mean, so in New England goes from having a deep quarterback bench to they're like signing nobodies.
Well, their receiver, Amendola.
Oh yeah,
He's
put on
he's their backup quarterback. Yeah,
which he played in either college or high school.
right.
I don't know.
So, but New England is already
No, not Amendola. It's Edelman.
okay.
Edelman.
Okay, I
Yeah.
get those two
Yeah,
mixed
yeah.
up.
Short white guy. Yeah, actually.
Well, the names are kind of, I don't know, unusual 3-syllable names. I know.
DeMarcus Ware.
But back to New England real quick.
Okay.
They're 2-0. I believe everybody that was anybody was saying if they just make it through the first four games without Brady, 2-2. If they just make it 2-2, they're in good shape. Well, guess what? They could go 0-2 the next 2 weeks and be 2-2.
Yeah.
I'm not. New England's going to be fine.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine as long as Brady comes back and stays healthy, and I don't think he ever gets hurt. And now let's talk about some teams that have started 0-2 and who, especially relative to expectations, NFL teams that have started 0-2 relative to expectations. Who's in more trouble? We'll start out with the AFC East. We got the Dolphins.
What do you mean by relative to expectation?
Because if you weren't expected to do anything, it doesn't matter if you're 0-2.
Well, then why did you put Cleveland up here?
Well, they're 0-2.
Yeah.
But we're going to have the conversation relative to expectations. Who's in more trouble?
Okay.
So starting with in the AFC East, Miami and Buffalo. Either one of those, but is either one of them in trouble? I'm going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to say. Who expected anything from Miami? Did anybody?
No. This wasn't a winning year at all.
But
for them.
Buffalo, Rex Ryan has already fired his offensive coordinator, and scoring is not their problem.
No, it's not.
So,
what do you think about that? Wise or
wise for job security? Because who was the likely replacement
for what?
For Rex Ryan if he got fired?
The OC,
right? Well, guess what?
Now he's gone.
Of course, I guess the team could bring him back in, but I just thought it was odd that you fire your OC after 1 or 2 weeks, and it's
cutthroat sport, man, or business, cutthroat business.
But I think it was save
job
your own
security,
butt. Yeah, I think it was save your own butt.
Rex Ryan seems like the kind of guy who would do that.
Well, he's got his brother in there as the defensive coordinator, and so. They've got problems. Buffalo doesn't look good. They don't look good, and LaShawn McCoy looks like he's well past his prime. Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'd say so too.
So
this is his third or fourth team, third team.
I don't know. I mean, he was with the Eagles when he was, and
then he just went to Buffalo.
He was with Buffalo last year.
Okay.
Yeah, the Cleveland Browns 0-2. And like you said, and no expectations.
Yeah, they always mess everything up, so they're just going to continue.
And how many quarterbacks are they? They've already gone through 2.
Yes, I can't even. What was the? They're using their drafted guy now, huh?
Well, RG3 went down, and then
yeah, we already talked about that, or was that off air?
Yeah, we mentioned that I said that he needs to quit thinking he's Cam Newton. Because he
so instead of getting Carson Wentz, they were like, "No, we got RG3."
And I read something, and I saw a headline, and I just skimmed over it real quick before I had to leave and go to work today. But apparently there were scouts in the organization that wanted to draft Wentz, and the organization fired him because they wanted to go that route.
Well, they did want.
They wanted to. The scouts did.
So why did the scouts get fired?
Because apparently, from what I saw on the article, it was like, well, if that's what you're thinking, then we don't want you as a scout anymore.
Well, that dude is the best quarterback I've seen in rookie year.
It's the Cleveland Browns organization. Yeah. It is. Now, remember, it was the owner of Cleveland that made the call to draft Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. Well, they're still making great decisions over there. Now,
a couple more 0-2 teams.
I'm surprised with Indianapolis. Now, is Luck still hurt? I know he played, but wasn't he hurt?
Indianapolis and Jacksonville are the 2 remaining 0-2 teams in the AFC.
Yeah.
Does it matter for Jacksonville?
Yeah.
What were they expected to do this year?
Win the Super Bowl.
What were they expected to do this year?
Win the Super Bowl
on this planet, in this universe, not a parallel universe. Now, I will say this: Bortles, people were starting
And
to
those
think he was going to come, and
receivers,
those
too.
wide receivers
and the
come
Robinsons
around a little
and-
bit. But man, they're giving up points.
Yeah,
like
they are.
crazy. But
You
no,
gotta have
so,
defense.
But still, nobody was really expecting anything serious
true.
out of Jacksonville. But Indianapolis now,
Mhm.
they're 0-2. They're an ugly 0-2
Mm-hmm.
because one of those losses is to Detroit, and that was at home. What do you think? What's the story on? I tell you what, going into fantasy draft this year, I had no interest in luck whatsoever. I saw too many issues last year, and they didn't address the offensive line that I could tell.
that's
There's
the
a
problem.
lack of weapons, and luck.
No, Luck needs protection, and he doesn't have it. Now, the only thing I have to say about that game is Matt Stafford was carrying the ball, and he went through a defender, and I've never ever seen him do that. I mean, he just leveled a guy, and that was and from there on, they just steamrolled the Indianapolis Colts. Like, I didn't see them losing that one at home. I did not.
Right.
So,
And then Indy was at Denver this past week.
the Manning Bowl.
Yep, that's right. The Manning Bowl without Manning. In the NFC, the Washington Redskins are 0-2, and that's a big problem. And here's why: one of those is a division game. Both of those were home games, and two of the teams in that division are 2-0: the Giants and the Eagles. So the Redskins that's a bad 0-2, and Kirk Cousins and company needs to get it figured out.
Kirk Cousins got a nice little pay raise.
He did,
and he's playing like he was last year, in my opinion. He's doing the same level of play that he was last year. So I don't know what it.
I saw in the Steelers game, I saw him miss make some bad decisions down the stretch too, and in the red zone. And I think of all the teams already that we have covered that are 0-2, given the fact that it looks like this division may be stronger than expected, and they only have 6 home games remaining on the season because both of those losses again came at home. I think the Redskins are in big trouble, and I think expectations were high. The Chicago Bears are 0-2. Nobody cares. I mean, Bears fans care, but they weren't expected to be any good. And Cutler seems to be the least popular man in the NFL.
Yeah,
he's more hated than Goodell.
His backup's Hoyer, right? Brian Hoyer?
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. And he did pretty good. He came in and started getting touchdowns. I think Cutler left with like a
hand. It's a hand injury,
like a thumb. Hangnail.
I mean,
on
I
his
don't know. I'm
thumb
not
or
going to
something.
accuse him of.
No, it was nothing, man. It was nothing.
Okay.
All right, I've seen Ben Roethlisberger out there with broken ribs, and this dude leaves with a hangnail.
Well, look, a lot of people are dogging Cutler. For everything.
Okay,
For not playing well,
I'm one of
for
them.
not playing hard, and you're
one of
you're
those.
jumping on the I hate Cutler bandwagon.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I saw a thing. Brian Hoyer made $200,000 that game, or $20,000. They put like side by side what Cutler made for that game. It was like $900,000, and Hoyer made like $200,000, and then the percentages of how well they each did, and it was
So like completions per
Exactly,
dollar or something. 900,000 for a game for Cutler. So he's making like 15 mil, 14 and a half, 15 of the year.
I guess.
Wait, is it too late for me to get in quarterback shape? Is it too late for you to? Jesus Christ, man!
If you got a good O line, yeah, you got the arm for it.
Oh man!
I just think you need a really good.
I need a really good O line
because I can't see you shedding tackles.
I can't see me running,
Taking a tackle.
running.
Man, those ones where like a guy just shoots through the gap and they somehow still get the pass off, but they take it straight to the gut.
Oh yeah,
that would end me.
It would. Yeah,
I would be out of the NFL.
And real quick,
fast.
the Saints are 0-2. However, everybody else in their division is 1-1.
Yeah, that's true. So they have hope.
They do have hope.
And I was watch the game, and
they played well
they're
enough.
not the Aints that people are trying to call them. They went to New York, and they stuck with them. I mean, against a good Giants team.
Well, they are 0-2, and their point differential is -4, meaning they've lost both of those games by a grand total of 4 points. Yep. And as tough as it is to lose close and to do it twice, the Saints are looking better than I thought they would, and they're closer than I thought they would be. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, me too. Upcoming games. We're going to do NCAA first. Let's talk about LSU. Why not?
They're at Auburn. They're at Auburn this week, and they are a 4-point favorite. And I really couldn't hazard a guess.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
could-
make a pick.
I will. I would say LSU by a field goal.
So they win but don't cover.
Yeah, there we go. Getting the lingo down. Yeah, because when you look at the lines and you see +8, and then it's by a team, that means they're the underdog.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're getting the points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say LSU.
You're not the seasoned gambler that I am.
No.
No.
No, apparently, like you said earlier, you've been gambling since you were 4 or something.
You know the first thing I ever gambled for? Marbles.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't play.
So you weren't kidding when you
No,
said
I
that.
wasn't kidding. I wouldn't play unless we were playing for keeps.
What were the odds on marble gambling?
Well, you've played marbles before. You know what a marble is.
Yeah.
You're out in the dirt,
Little piece of glass ball.
and you're shooting it at somebody else's.
And you got to knock it out of the square?
Well,
or the
there's
circle?
several different games. I mean, just hitting it or knocking
Yeah.
it out of the circle or whatever. I wouldn't play unless we played for keeps. And at one point, I had like 50 pounds of marbles.
Dang.
I kid you not. But so yes, if I was going to do anything, I wasn't going to just play marbles. I was going to play it for keeps.
Well, so
anyway,
you really have been gambling your whole life?
I have been gambling my whole life. Yes.
So LSU, I don't know. They was it Mississippi State? I said Mississippi State was gonna beat them. Mississippi State, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just because I don't know, because you said that LSU was gonna win, but like you said, 22 of 24.
22
times
of
LSU
24
beat 'em.
going into last week, and then
So
they beat them again.
it's not a huge victory.
It's not.
Everyone's like, oh, they're
Right.
2-1, but no, they're
Yeah.
against who? So
Yeah.
Auburn's gonna be a good.
Auburn is a
test.
test. Now,
Yeah.
Auburn lost at home last week to Texas A&M. I would
And they're
say
at Auburn, so-
it's at Auburn. And if you remember last year, LSU in general and Leonard Fournette in particular embarrassed Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Auburn will really be up for payback. I wouldn't be
think-
surprised to see Auburn win the game.
I don't know. A whole season later, do you think they?
Oh yeah.
You think?
Oh yeah. And yeah, yeah, definitely. You always because you always know that you're going to get those guys back at your place next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, last year Fournette was leveling dudes. I mean,
he
it
was. He was
embarrassing.
knocking them down. He was throwing them.
After that game, everyone was like, "He's got the Heisman."
Well, that's why he won
just
the Heisman of September.
Exactly.
He did.
After that game, it was highlights central. So let's get on to Wisconsin at Michigan State University.
Yeah, Wisconsin is ranked 11, but that's largely based on the fact that they beat LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Michigan State, who is 8th ranked in that game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Michigan State too. They looked great last week.
Let's see, do we have a line in that game?
Yeah, +6 Wisconsin.
So okay,
Arkansas at A&M. This will be a good one.
it will
This will be a
be.
good
I think both of them have surprised to the upside just a little bit. Arkansas, of course, with that big double or triple overtime win against TCU a couple of weeks ago, and they are continuing to play well. They're 3-0 and ranked 17. Texas A&M entered the year with Sumlin on the hot seat, and here they are 3-0, and Texas A&M is ranked 10th.
I'm gonna call them 4-0.
Texas A&M is going to beat Arkansas.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
the
let's see, where's that
spread
game?
is,
Where's
but
that
I've got
game?
them beating them. I'm gonna say even. I'm gonna call
It is
2 touchdowns.
It is at A&M, and A&M's a 6-point favorite. You say they cover
I
that?
say 2. Yeah, they'll cover that.
Is that your bet? You gonna make a bet?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'll slap a butt
All right.
50 on it. Get my ×2 on it.
Florida at Tennessee in the SEC East.
Mm-hmm. Good football right
Yeah,
there.
this is always a big game in the SEC. They're both 3-0. I don't know that either one has been all that impressive, and that's kind of borne out in the fact that even at 3-0 in the SEC, Florida's ranked 19th and Tennessee's ranked 14th. And Tennessee has not played an SEC game yet.
Really?
Right. Now, given that Appalachian State gave Tennessee a really good game, and then at home got blown out last week by Miami, apparently the beautiful scenery around the stadium didn't do them any good. I think Tennessee is a weak 14th ranked.
I'm going with Tennessee though.
You going with Tennessee?
Mm-hmm. I'm going with them. Are you?
I'm going to go with Florida. I'm going to go with Florida on that one.
Do we have a line on that?
Florida's getting 7.
7. And you're still going with them?
Well, they're getting 7.
So,
Oh, you mean straight up?
yeah.
Okay. Boy, I like that as a bet with the line though.
Yeah.
I'll go with them. I'll go with them. So straight up, and certainly, obviously, if they win straight up, they obviously cover since they're 7-point underdogs. You ready to hit the NFL?
I am, and let's start with Broncos going to Cincinnati. Who just played them? Was that Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh just played Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh. This is Cincinnati's first home game of the year. They're 1-1 after 2 road games. Their home opener, I think they're fired up, and I think they win this game.
Cincinnati?
Yeah.
You know, I'm going Broncos.
Is that heart or head?
That's heart. I don't even know who's healthy or what. I'm just heart Broncos. Simeon's still looking great if he's still healthy.
I mean, you're not really desperate at 1-1, but I think they'll be.
I think being
up.
at home, like you're saying, like Cincinnati being at home. If they lose, it's going to be maybe by a field goal. If the Broncos lose, it'll be probably by a field goal.
So you say a close game?
Yeah, I'll call it.
I think it'll be a good game, definitely. Thursday night coming up, which will be tonight after we release this.
If you're listening to this right now.
Yeah, Houston at New England. New England is the walking wounded. They're a mass unit.
Yeah,
they're actually underdogs at home. Do you take Houston? Do you? New England is getting 3 points at home.
Man, yeah. No, I'm gonna go New England.
New England,
you don't go against them.
See, that's just it. I wouldn't bet this game, but I'm sure as hell not going to bet against them.
Exactly,
I'm not going to do it, especially at home. No.
Pittsburgh at Philly.
Pittsburgh at Philadelphia.
This is going to be a good game.
This is going to be a good game.
But
this is kind of a rivalry since they're in the same state.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh hasn't won at Philadelphia since I think the mid '90s, but they don't play there that often. So that's Philadelphia's 2-0, and they are plus 34 in those 2 wins. However, those 2 wins are against Cleveland and Chicago.
Yeah. I got Philly on this one. Man, that guy Carson Wentz. He won a fan.
Really? You think
he won a fan in me, and I'm sure a lot of other fans. But he was a game manager out there on that field, and he's a brand new rookie, and dude was taking hits, dude shedding tackles. I mean, he was very, very well performing out there, and he didn't do anything that I saw that says he can't go up against that Pittsburgh defense. I'm gonna take off work to watch this game.
You're gonna walk away from that Sunday pay, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. As much as I want to see the Steelers go 3-0 to start the year, I think this is a tough spot. I think the Philadelphia crowd will be up. Pittsburgh is a 7-point favorite. I would not bet on them to cover.
No, I wouldn't either.
I'll be happy if they get out of town with a 1-point win. I really, really, really will, because Philadelphia has been impressive. They really have been. San Francisco at Seattle. Seattle has scored 1 touchdown through the first 2 games of the season.
Yeah, I think it's a lot like last year. Just kind of wait on.
They do start slow.
Yeah,
they do.
But man, last year, I mean, everyone was dogging Seattle, like Seattle who, and then what's the quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
And then Russell Wilson just
certainly in the back half of the year, about week 8 or 9 on, he was.
I was thinking more like 5 down, but man, it was. I mean, he put the team on his shoulders, and I haven't seen him try to do that yet. So I don't know. This San Francisco,
even though San Francisco has surprised me a little bit. I mean, they shut out Los Angeles 28-0, and then they went to Carolina, and I mean, they lost pretty big, but they did put up a lot of points.
That quarterback is doing very well.
They're doing better than I thought they would.
Yeah, he's doing real well. But you go into Seattle, I don't know, man. It's one of those. It's hard to at Seattle. It doesn't matter who at Seattle's hard to pick a non-Seattle team in that case.
It is.
But
that is kind of going by the wayside a little bit over the past season.
Especially
plus.
This season, they had 1 touchdown.
Right, and I mean their only home game this year was against Miami, and it was like a 12-9 or something like that score. It was a very, very close, very low scoring game, and then they go to Los Angeles, which, from what I heard, that was a pretty yucky experience. They didn't have enough concessions. They didn't have enough concessions.
That's a mad dash.
Is that a mad dash?
That's a mad
Speaking
dasher.
of mad dash, is it about that time?
It's a very, you got a good handle on time there.
How about that?
That was perfect.
All right, starting out Monday night, the Saints host the Falcons in what is 10-year anniversary. I don't know if it's the exact date, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
It's the 10-year anniversary of when the Saints reopened the Dome after Katrina, and the Falcons were the sacrificial lamb that the NFL offered up to go in and play on that magical night.
So what if the Falcons win?
10 years ago? It was.
Oh, you're talking about.
I'm talking about right.
So who are they playing this week?
It's the Falcons.
It's the Falcons.
It's
okay,
the
Falcons.
Falcons.
I thought so.
But I'm talking about 10 years ago. The NFL
10.
said, "Guess what,
Yeah,
Falcons?
no.
You get to lose a game."
Falcons lost that game before they even showed
Exactly.
up. Yeah. I thought
Exactly.
you meant this year. Yeah.
This year.
You think so? Same
Saints are 0-2.
Conference or division? Do you call it?
Neither one of them's in the division. No, because it was Oakland and the New York Giants. Neither one of them's in the division. They win. The Saints win Monday night.
Because
10-year
they have
anniversary.
to be. It's going to be emotions are high. Yeah,
I agree.
And emotion really helps this sport. So yeah, I think it would really suck if they lost because that's that's just how the game goes. But
Saints win.
I think more than just Saints fans want to see him win because that was a real uplifting thing for everybody.
It was.
Because they almost didn't even get the team back.
They almost didn't get the team back,
Exactly.
and is the Dome going to be ready,
Yeah.
and all of this, and that's why I say when the NFL said, okay, here you go,
who's
Atlanta.
gonna play there?
Who's going to be? Who's
Yeah.
going to get the automatic loss? And it's going to be division rival Atlanta Falcons. And I think they get that loss again this coming Monday night too.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. So yeah, we were talking about the Rams' new stadium. If you can see me, I'm
Air quotes.
Air quoting.
The air quotes.
Yeah, so they're in the I can't even remember the name.
Are they in the Coliseum? Is that where they're playing? The Los Angeles Coliseum? I think that's where they're playing until they get the new place opened up.
It was so apparently. So I'm reading reviews of the stadium.
Right.
They won, right? They beat Seattle, right?
They beat Seattle.
Okay. This was a review from a Seattle fan.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't dogging the place just because his team lost.
Right.
He didn't say anything about the score. He was talking about how it looked like Saturday they found out 90,000 people were going to be coming in there on Sunday morning and started putting up NFL banners and stuff. He said there was like just where a camera would look at was it done up.
Right.
Everything else was...
And why? Why don't you prepare?
I guess they thought they were. I don't know, but they ran out of water at halftime. They had sweet tea. They ran out of some food. Their concessions apparently was terrible.
Now think about it. It's been 22 years. It's been 22 years since they played a home game. How many people were drinking bottled water 22 years ago?
So you're saying
I mean, really, think about it.
No one.
No one.
Probably drinking out of the water fountains, which the pipes probably don't even work there now.
You probably wouldn't want what's coming out of the pipes there.
There was one guy in that same thing in the reviews. He's like, I'm a water inspector, and I know the water is good to drink, so I always drink water out of the bathroom faucet.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, it was just very... so, I mean, people getting heat stroke, people... like in the 100 numbers of people getting heat-related... illnesses and like double digits people going to the hospital for heat injuries or heat problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, come on, at least have. I know California's in a drought and everything, but bottled water at a professional sporting event, that's like you can't buy too much bottled water.
But again, 22 years ago, nobody was drinking bottled water.
Are you saying the concessions were stocked in, and that's...
No, I'm saying just somebody was caught off guard by, people are drinking bottled water by the gallon.
What, did they have one of those fridges where it's like a huge, humongous block of ice in there?
Did they run out of anything else?
Some food stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Like by halftime.
Yeah.
It's not like, fourth quarter, 3 minutes left on the clock. Oh, we're out of water. No, it's like halftime when people are going to get food.
Let me ask you this. What's the over-under on a sign showing up in the stands? Go back to St. Louis.
Very high.
Really?
Yeah.
Like it won't happen this year? It won't happen this season?
What do you mean a sign?
A sign like the Rams are so bad that somebody holds up a sign, please go back to St. Louis or something. As a joke, whatever, as a joke.
Yeah, very high.
So you're saying it won't happen?
It will happen.
The over-under. Like week 4, week 8, week 12.
Very high. I don't know how to answer this question properly. Someone's going to do it.
7. I'll say 7.
Times somebody does that?
No, week.
Oh,
By week 7.
I got
by
you.
week 7.
I got you.
By week 7, because they play ugly ball. Ugly, boring ball. Of course, they did draft. They have the number 1 draft choice, the quarterback out of Cal.
They might have it next year.
Fisher hasn't seen fit to throw him out there yet. But anyway, they play ugly ball, and much to my dismay, because I've got Todd Gurley as a running back, but they have no other weapons, so everybody can key on him. It's like trying to pull for Leonard Fournette to do something.
I put up here talking about Cleveland, but we hit that with they're firing their scouts, and they could have gotten Carson Wentz. I think they traded up and then didn't get Carson Wentz. Isn't that how that all happened?
You know more about it than I do. I just saw the deal about
the scouts getting fired.
Yeah, the scouts wanted him, and the organization said, "What are you thinking?" And so, but it's Cleveland. It's Cleveland. You brought up something when we were talking about right before we started recording that it just drives me up the wall.
This really grinds my gears.
Gets to you too, and it's these guys that are running unabated, open field, headed for a touchdown, and they are just so damn cool.
Too cool for a touchdown.
That they've got to drop the ball,
before
and they
cross,
can't even cross the line before they do it. If I was a coach, I don't care who it was, he'd sit. He'd sit the rest of the game.
Yeah.
He would sit.
I would make every player bring the ball to me. Or at least that player, for sure. Or give it to the ref.
Is there a more pointless exercise on a football field?
Who started it is all I want to know.
I don't know.
I'm sure it was someone in the NFL and all these guys in college. Because college is the problem is what I'm seeing. You don't see NFL guys doing
this. I don't think I've seen it in the NFL.
For all of these guys to be doing it, it had to have been someone pretty famous.
Cross the line by 5 yards. Is the football hot? Cross the line by 5 yards. I'm so cool that I'm going to drop this ball as I cross the line.
Why am I bothered to cross the line with this ball in my hand?
Right.
Come on. I can't stand when I see that. And that has to stop. That's like one of the... I would rather you spend 2 minutes dancing in the end zone and getting a penalty.
I agree. As much as I hate that.
Yes. I would rather watch you dance for 2 minutes, go out there and twerk like Antonio Brown and get a fine or get a penalty than not even cross
the two sins.
Yes.
Yeah, of the two sins, the dropping the ball before is the dumber and is the greater. And it's not just because it cost you the touchdown. It's just so pointless. It's worse. It's worse than the celebration. I agree with you.
Well, you don't get to celebrate when you don't get the touchdown. Early celebrating.
That's just it. They're celebrating when they have nothing to celebrate.
You're early celebrating nothing because you did not score.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't stand it. So moving on. We Colin Kaepernick kneeling with the I always almost say alma mater when I want to say the
it's the alma
America's
mater.
It's
the alma mater of the United States. Yes.
So he's kneeling during the Star Spangled Banner, and I said everyone's just looking for something to talk about, and it's not a big deal. Now, when I said that, I didn't mean the him kneeling and what he's trying to get across, and that I didn't say that's not a big deal. I was trying to say we're just looking for something to talk about at this point. But no, it's still going on. And not only that, more people are doing it.
More people are doing it.
Hopeful high school teams I've seen doing it. More NFL players.
I stand by what I said. These acts alone do nothing. However, it does seem like
the very next day he made some kind of donation.
But it seems like it seems like it may be headed somewhere.
Exactly.
We don't know yet. It may be headed somewhere.
He's not doing what he's doing, putting his knee on the ground during the Star Spangled Banner isn't accomplishing anything other than it's a stepping point to something happening, I guess. And like I said, he is donating money, and other people are donating money. Other guys are losing money
but I'm not donating money to what?
I don't know. Hopefully something that helps something.
Without going down this rabbit hole too much, because we are actually in the mad dash, which is running a little long.
It's a long mad dash.
It is a long mad dash. But hopefully police officers, police forces, and minority citizens can get a dialogue going, a positive dialogue going. Yeah. Anyway.
And I think definitely that ball is rolling. This, among other things, are getting that going. But like I said, I said this would be gone. The second the first piece of pigskin was snapped, and
But it has legs.
it does.
It does have
Yeah.
legs. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode. Go visit us at theboomerandxshow.com. It's our beautiful little home on the internet. And you can shout out to us at Boomer and X Show on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. We're still on Instagram. I never get on Instagram, though. We're on YouTube now. And iHeartRadio. We're on all of those. Pretty much everywhere you are. And y'all, just thank you for joining us. John, I'm all out of words. How about you?
I was all out of words about 35 seconds ago.